Meghalaya is known for a lot of things: breathtaking beauty, hospitable people, and delicious food, to name a few. And high literacy rate is not one of them. Unlike other northeastern states like, say, Mizoram, where literacy rates are well above 90% and even above 95% in remote districts like Serchhip, Meghalaya's literacy rates hover just over 70%. In such a case, it is even more important that the state should pay utmost attention to its education system and ensure that its teachers are not only hired in huge numbers but also treated with dignity and respect. This is why even we are surprised that as of 2022, we are doing a video about why school teachers, or at least potential school teachers, are threatening to pick guns. I am Kalyan Deb and you're watching Decoded. Pursuing for months,
Pura village of Assam,
In the 75th Independence Day,
shockwaves were felt across Meghalaya in April when, on a fine morning, media houses across the state and some, like East Mojo, outside the state too, received a rather surprising mail. In it, we had the declaration of war by an outfit formed by school teachers. You don't have to rewind and go through the sentence again. You heard it right the first time. Yes, school teachers. Inspired by Yami Gautam's Thursday? Maybe not. But the outfit, Laway Bapirnai, claimed that it had been formed by teachers who saw this as a last resort against a corrupt state government. The language of the mail read more like an emotional outburst than a pure terror threat. Yet, one could not ignore that this was an extreme turn taken by some teachers who clearly had enough. It is easy to blame the pandemic for a lot of things, but one cannot blame COVID-19 for Meghalaya's rather average literacy rate. The state lags behind leaders like Mizoram and even states like Nagaland. The state's school teachers have been angry at the state government for years now. Lack of recruitment, leaked exam papers, waiting for months to be hired despite clearing exams, and low salaries when working as contractual teachers. According to Federation of All School Teachers of Meghalaya, or FATSM, the state has over 1800 ad hoc schools which employ around 8,000 teachers. Now, you do not need to be an expert to know that a state needs full-time teachers working for years before they can turn around the literacy map. But leaving that aside, teachers in Meghalaya have long been protesting against the state government's policies. Even when the teachers are hired, the salaries leave a lot to be desired. Fine, as journalists, we hardly are in a position to comment on other people's salaries. But 6,000 per month for a lower primary teacher, that's 200 a day. A bit too low, right? Sure, the amount rises to almost 20,000 per month for higher secondary teachers. But even then, this is nothing compared to what private schools can pay. Let's look at the bigger picture here. The move to take arms seems like an extreme one, and the fact that the email said the group had been started by 37 jobless qualified teachers indicates that an overwhelming number of teachers have not picked up arms. However, in a state still reeling from the loss of revenue due to COVID and several unemployed youths, teachers picking or even threatening to pick guns are neither ideal or necessary. Chief Minister Conrad Sangma agreed that it is the socio-economic situation that leads to such steps.
It is the socio-economic situation and problem that leads to militancy. I have always maintained in all my statements that militancy is not the problem. It is a result of the problem, which is socio-economic issues. And therefore, unemployment definitely is a very important issue. But it is not an issue that one can just simply look at it and say that we'll take this step and it's resolved. It's a major issue throughout the state, throughout the country and throughout the world. And many governments work in different ways to tackle that. And therefore, from our government side also, unemployment is a very, very critical issue. That is the reason why our government has been focusing on many programs related to entrepreneurship, and we are promoting programs and promoting the youth that they should take up more entrepreneurship programs, be not just job seekers but job creators. And we have, as I said, whether it's in the food processing sector, whether it's in the tourism sector, or whether any kind of small-scale industries, different mission mode programs that we come up with, all these are targeted towards creating jobs. And therefore, employment obviously is one of the top priorities for this government, is to create employment. And that is why the number of programs we've done in the last many years have been targeting this. But obviously, it's not something that can be resolved and expected that we'll find a solution in one day. It's a process, and as the economy grows, as opportunities come, more and more employment will be created, and that's how we move forward.
Just days ago, the Meghalaya government had announced a big breakthrough in its quest to end militancy in the state, and the beginning of the process of talks with the proscribed outfit HNLC was seen as a major achievement by the Sangma government. However, LBP has already dismissed HNLC as a petty group and insisted that unlike the cowards of HNLC, they will not settle for talks. Mind you, HNLC, even as a terror group, has more pedigree than what seems like a group of teachers who are just angry online for now. Also, why are LBP dismissing HNLC? Are there any overlaps between them? Do they even share an ideology? Whatever the answers may be, with 1 year to go for elections, the last thing Conrad Sangma wants is another group threatening peace in a state that is unlikely to forget last Independence Day in a hurry. Remember HNLC sympathizers hijacking a police vehicle and brandishing guns on the streets? That was 2021, during the pandemic. Meghalaya has been much more peaceful than, say, Nagaland or Manipur or even Arunachal, but do not take it for granted. As mentioned earlier, elections are just a year away from Meghalaya, and as our previous videos have shown, the political game is already in motion. And the last thing Conrad Sangma need to deal with right now is bombs going off in the state. It will not only cause a lot of pain to the general populace, but it will also give much needed firepower to the opposition leaders like Mukul Sangma. Even the BJP, which has been cold towards Sangma ever since he brought 5 rebel Congress leaders to the MDA, will use any disturbances to attack him. Sangma is on a political high after the breakthrough in Assam-Meghalaya border talks and HNLC coming to the table for talks. They simply cannot afford gun-toting teachers. In this regard, the arrest of LBP members who allegedly sent the mails is a good and crucial step for all we know. We may not even remember LBP after a few months, and that is what Sangma would want. But if he is truly the statement that he is, then he would do well to ensure that school teachers are picking pens and not guns and addressing students, not leaders. For Conrad Sangma and Meghalaya, peace is not an option. It is the only reality they can dwell in.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to East Mojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.